All right, guys, welcome to the summary and analysis for the August 5th episode of Monday Night Raw. We have a good amount of stuff to talk about, right? We just got out of SummerSlam less than maybe a little bit more than 48 hours ago, and we learned a lot about the direction of the Judgment Day. We got to see the debut of the Wyatt Six, the in ring debut, at least, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about, so we'll get to all of that. Let's start from the top, though. We start with our new world heavyweight champion, Gunther. And he is surprisingly interrupted by Randy Orton. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, a SmackDown star interrupting Raw's main champion. Now, listen, you guys know I'm very OCD about stuff like that, but this is why I don't mind Randy Orton coming out and interrupting Gunther. It's because there's a story there, right? Gunther didn't get a clean win against Randy Orton at King of the Ring a few months ago, which then led to Gunther becoming the number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. So, in this, we establish Gunther versus Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship at Bash in Berlin. And all I could say is that is amazing. I did not see that coming whatsoever. I don't think anyone did. And I think it's the right call. I think it's going to be a money main event for Berlin, Germany. So I'm very excited for Gunther versus Randy Orton, which is established right away, the first segment of Raw. Such good stuff, guys. Like, yes, we get a SmackDown guy fighting for a Raw title, but there's a story there. That's why it doesn't matter. If there's a story there, then that's amazing. And there's a good story here to be told, and there's going to be a good match here. You thought the first Gunther versus Randy Orton match was good? Wait till the second one. The second one is going to be awesome. I can't wait for Bash at Berlin. Our first match of the night is Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. And the first hour of Raw this week was commercial free, which was very fun. So we get a commercial free match here with Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. And even with Pete Dunne interrupting Sheamus and the match, Sheamus is still able to get the victory against Ludwig Kaiser. I'm sure we'll see Pete Dunne versus Sheamus at Bash in Berlin. However, my mind was rolling, and I thought to myself, if they wanted to create some sort of mini feud with Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser, I'd be happy to see that match on the Bash in Berlin card. Nonetheless, guys, I don't really think that's going to happen. We saw it here tonight. Sheamus gets the dub, and yeah, we get one step closer to Sheamus versus Pete Dunne. They're just going to keep us on the string for that one, right? They're going to make us anticipate that match. We're probably going to see it in Germany. Next, we have Damian Priest calling out Finn Balor. And I got to say, this post Judgment Day, post World Heavyweight Championship Damian Priest is awesome. I really do think Damian not having the title and Damian not being a part of Judgment Day anymore really allowed him to put his character together. I feel like it all came together this week on Raw. I think the promos he was cutting were fantastic. I think his presentation, it's still a little Judgment Day, but still, like, I think I saw a huge improvement with Damian Priest this week now that he doesn't have the belt and he's not in Judgment Day. I think bright days are ahead for Damian Priest as a babyface, as this no nonsense, I'm going to kick your ass type of wrestler. And who's to say he doesn't get the World Heavyweight Championship again in the future? Because I seriously was a lot more impressed by Damian Priest this week on Raw than I was during his whole World Heavyweight Championship reign. I'm being straight up right now, guys. So he calls out Finn Balor, and it looks like we're leading to a high caliber match against with Damian Priest and Finn Balor. And then in this segment, we actually get a new look at the Judgment Day and how they are now. The Judgment Day is currently Finn Balor, JD McDonough, Carlito, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, and Liv Morgan. So we have an updated Judgment Day roster now. And I honestly think that faction looks really good with the members in it. I think Damian Priest is on to bigger and better things, and I think I could say the same for Rhea Ripley. Absolutely. But later in the night, we end up getting Damian Priest versus Ludwig Kaiser. I mean, not Ludwig Kaiser. We get Damian Priest versus JD McDonough. And this, of course, ends in disqualification as the Judgment Day members don't let this match have a clean finish, right? They start beating on Damian Priest, and then here comes Rhea Ripley for the save. So we get a brief look at Rhea Ripley, who saves Damian Priest from a Judgment Day beatdown. It'll be very interesting to see how this story unfolds. Nonetheless, we get a little taste on Raw this week. Next, man, we had Lyra Valkyria versus Shayna Baszler, and this match had a no finish either. We got two no finish matches on Raw this week. I think it's okay because they're leading to bigger stories, right? So Zoe Stark and Sonya Deville started beating on Lyra Valkyria. This led to a disqualification. The match was nullified, and then Damage Control came out sooner rather than later to kind of square up with Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, and Sonya Deville. What are we calling that faction? We don't have a name for that yet. We don't have a name for them yet, but that's all good. Nonetheless, guys, this match has a no finish, and we actually end up getting Io Sky against Sonya Deville. As later in the night, Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark actually jump Damage Control from behind backstage, which ends up leading to the original wrestler of this match. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now. The original wrestler of this match was supposed to be Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai was unable to compete because she got jumped backstage. So Io Sky stepped in her place and was able to defeat Sonya Deville with the help of Damage Control to even the odds. So we got these 6 women wrestling to determine who the best faction on Monday Night Raw is on the women's side of things. And I definitely think this is a good feud. We had some good matches tonight on Raw. We had some good progression with this story. I think this is really fun. Next, man, we had what was a cluster F. I won't say the F word on YouTube. A cluster F of a CM Punk promo in a good way. CM Punk comes out. He acknowledges that he took an L at SummerSlam against Drew McIntyre, and he wants Drew McIntyre to come to the ring because Drew McIntyre may have defeated him one-on-one, but CM Punk is still breathing. So he's basically not taken out. He said, Drew McIntyre, you said you were going to take me out. I'm still breathing. There's still blood going through my veins. Come finish the job. You may have beat me at SummerSlam, but I keep coming. It's hard to keep me down, essentially. Drew McIntyre does not come to the ring. It is Seth freaking Rollins who does. And these guys stare each other down. They're ready to beat each other's asses. And right as they are about to, Drew McIntyre appears in the crowd with a live microphone. And everything he is saying means nothing to Seth freaking Rollins and CM Punk as they stay locked on each other. They're ready to pounce. Finally, Drew McIntyre brings up CM Punk's dog Larry and his wife AJ Lee. And this is enough to get CM Punk to break his focus from Seth freaking Rollins and immediately begin chasing Drew McIntyre into the crowd. And that's exactly what happens. Drew McIntyre runs into the crowd to chase, CM Punk runs into the crowd to chase Drew McIntyre. And as Seth Rollins is standing in the ring, he is viciously attacked by Big Bronson Reed. Now, we did hear Big Bronson Reed talk to Adam Pearce backstage earlier in the show. And Big Bronson Reed said, if you're not going to make opportunities as the general manager for me, who's been getting wins, then I'm going to make opportunities for myself. So he viciously, and I mean viciously, attacks Seth freaking Rollins, right? This Bronson Reed came off the top rope like 7-8 times. Seth freaking Rollins was coughing up blood. I think this was good work here. I'm very excited to see Seth freaking Rollins versus Big Bronson Reed. What is cool about this situation here is you create a plethora of matches that the fans can anticipate. First and foremost, you have Seth freaking Rollins versus CM Punk as a highly anticipated match. You have Seth freaking Rollins versus Big Bronson Reed as a highly anticipated match. And then lastly, you could do a tag team match where Drew McIntyre and Big Bronson Reed team up against Seth freaking Rollins and CM Punk. And Seth Rollins and CM Punk currently hate each other. But if you were to go this route and set this tag team match up, you could definitely do the whole can they coexist for one match angle and then go ahead and have Seth Rollins versus CM Punk either later this year or early next year. So I really think WWE is doing top tier, grade A work with CM Punk, with Seth Rollins, with Drew McIntyre, and now they're throwing big Bronson Reed into the mix, and it's very exciting. I'm excited to tune into Raw every week to see these stories progress. Let's move on. We then had the New Day get a victory. Welcome back, Kofi Kingston, over the authors of Pain. Very interesting stuff. And Odyssey Jones, who we really haven't seen anything from, comes out to level the playing field against the Final Testament. So, of course, Big E is unable to compete, but it looks like they're going to slide Odyssey Jones right in with the New Day. And I'm not saying it's amazing, but I'm not saying it's horrible either. Looks like we're going to have a highly anticipated six-man tag team match in the near future. The Final Testament versus Odyssey Jones, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods. Nonetheless, tonight, New Day are the victors against the authors of Pain. We have another tag team match up next. We have A-Town Down Under able to get the victory over Awesome Truth due to an error by R-Truth. We'll see where that's heading, right? Awesome Truth has been getting wins, except for recently when they lost the tag team titles on Raw. So to see R-Truth's error, his blunder, cost Awesome Truth a match here makes me wonder how much of this is Miz going to take? We know the Miz is best as a heel. And maybe they're planting the seeds for the Miz to turn on R-Truth, and then we can then have a decently high caliber feud with the Miz and R-Truth. I'm sure they're going to do the same for Grayson Waller and Austin Theory. They were hinting at it pretty heavily. I'm surprised we're not there yet. Maybe we will get there. But nonetheless, man, A-Town Down Under look to be right back on track with a tag team victory on Raw. We'll see if they could take that over to SmackDown and get some more dubs, and we'll see what happens with all that. Next, man, we have the main event. The Wyatt Six versus Chad Gable and the Creed brothers. We finally get to see the full-fledged in-ring presentation and a match with the Wyatt Six. And it did not disappoint, ladies and gentlemen. Like, go watch the match. Stop this video right now and go watch a clip from WWE's YouTube channel of the Wyatt Six on Raw this week. Awesome stuff, man. I know Bray Wyatt is looking down, smiling, and I'm smiling too, man. I miss Bray Wyatt. The Wyatt Six really makes me miss Bray Wyatt, but I think they're doing a really good job with this faction in honoring Bray Wyatt and also just being badass. So, yeah, man, the Wyatt Six get the victory against Chad Gable and the Creed brothers, and it is everything you thought it was going to be. It is fantastic. It is awesome. I think the presentation, like I said, is great. Their move set is great as a trio. This is really good stuff. The Wyatt Six is here. Finally. WWE should make some trios championships for these guys. I don't know. My mind immediately goes to give them championships. But the thing about the Wyatt Six and Bray Wyatt originally is they don't need championships to be a draw. They don't need championships to be badass. In fact, I think for at least the first year, you just don't give them any championships and just let them do their thing. What they're doing right now is working. Just stay with that, reasonably expand on that. And we're good, man. Wyatt Six is here to stay. They are here. We also did get a backstage not one of their scenes, one of their interview scenes with this time with Joe Gacy. So we've seen every member of the Wyatt Six in one of these scenes, and I think Dexter Loomis is the last one that we have yet to see. Maybe not. Maybe I don't remember. I don't know. I do think Dexter Loomis hasn't had a scene yet. Nonetheless, man, Wyatt Six end the show. Monday Night Raw is never going to be the same, right? We got the Wyatt Six rolling deep. Judgment Day, who? It would be cool to see Judgment Day in the Wyatt Six feud, but I don't think that is going to be something for War Games this year. I think the Bloodline versus the newer Bloodline is going to be for War Games, but we'll find out, man. I wouldn't mind seeing Wyatt Six versus Judgment Day in War Games this year. That'd be really cool. So we'll find out, man. This has been a summary and analysis of Monday Night Raw. I'm gonna go watch Alien with my girlfriend, and I'm very excited for Alien Romulus to come out. All right, see ya.